Stuart, some of the selections in this team are obviously down to necessity, but you subscribe to a no excuses culture here with England. How much confidence have you got in this team that they can do a job for you on Saturday?
Yeah, no, really confident. I mean, you know, it's born out of firm foundations. They've trained well, and they've prepared well. They're good players who've delivered in the Premiership and certainly in training camps with us. So no, we'll be more than ready for Saturday, and you know, it's a huge occasion for us. You know, the All Blacks have not lost at Eden Park in a long time, and you know, they won unbeaten last season, world champions, and quite rightly confident going into the game. But you know, we're pretty confident we'll give them a real good test this weekend.
Kyle Eastman's in at 12. He showed his quality certainly on the tour to Argentina last summer. How excited about you giving him another opportunity on an even bigger stage?
Yeah, I've always wanted to do it, to be honest. It's a matter of finding the right time and the right occasion to do it. You know, I enjoy having another player who can be a ball player at 12 and who can organise people and put people through holes, but also be a running threat themselves. Kyle's different to Billy 12 trees in that regard, but I still think he can do that really well, and he'll definitely open our attacking game up, which is what we want to do. You know, he'll be strong defensively. You know, Andy Farrell's done a great amount of work with him, and he's certainly going to get tested, but he won't shirk the tackles, and he's played some big games before, and obviously this is a huge game for him, but I'm confident to be ready. You know, he's got Manu outside him, which is probably a bonus when you're going into your first big test, because you know that you've got someone out there with experience, but also the power and the balance in the back line to allow him to do his thing, and sometimes use Manu as the foil.
You mentioned Manu there. How does it change the way a backline can approach a game with Manu in it, with reference to what he did when you beat New Zealand famously in 2012?
Yeah. I mean, he missed the game last year, which is obviously a shame. But no, I'm sure they'll remember him from that game, and you know, defensively he'll pose some threats to them. But they're used to playing against big centres, and I'm sure they'll be ready for him. It's down to us to make sure we use him in the right way and get the best out of him. I think I've always said, you know, you want a backline that covers all the bases. You want running threats, you want passing threats, and you want power. And I think we've got that balance in the backline. You know, you look at Mike Brown, Marlon Yard, Johnny May. You know, you've got pace, power, good footballers, good decision makers, and in Freddie and Danny Kerr and Kyle in particular, you know, some great attacking threats and some good running threats. It's not all about attack. Obviously, our kicking game has to be spot on, and there's been a lot of emphasis put on that. We can't give the ball back to the back three because they're hugely dangerous. But the boys have prepared well, and I'm sure they'll be ready. Freddie
Burns has got the nod at 10. How did he grow as a leader, do you think, on the Argentina tour when he's given that responsibility by you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the trick, isn't it? You know, to get the best out of a player is to give them responsibility and encourage them to believe in themselves and to believe that they can lead the team. Freddie was excellent on that tour. He got his opportunity in the first All Blacks game. He came on after 60 minutes and looked hugely confident in that game at Twickenham. Obviously, he's not had the best season by his own standards, but he's certainly come good towards the end of it. And as soon as he knew he was going to be in the mix for the starting position for the first test, he's just grown into the role and showed great leadership.
Haskell's back in the pack as well after, I think, 12 months out of the England team. He was outstanding in that one of the last big away games he had in Port Elizabeth, I think, making 28 tackles. What does he bring to the team? What does he bring in terms of energy?
Well, he brings a huge amount of experience, first of all, but he brings a huge physical presence. And I think what he's developed in his game at Wasps this season is a more attacking-based threat as well. So he's a good ball carrier. He's got his knee sorted, so he feels a lot better physically, and you can see that in the way he plays. He's quick, powerful across the floor, and going into the game, you know, certainly the back rowers are going to be tested, but as will everyone. You know, the breakdown will dictate it, and how we manage the ball in the wide breakdowns, where we struggled against the All Blacks in the last game, or how we put pressure on their breakdown to deny them quick ball. I think that'll be the key part of the game, and you know, James Haskell and, as I say, Chris Robshaw, Ben Morgan will be key to that.
Jeff Parling's back, of course, as well. Lion from the summer. What does he bring to the team in terms of experience as well?
Well, he brings great leadership, very good line-out presence. We think that the line-out, not just our own line-out, but also stopping their attacking line-outs and stopping them quick ball, will be a key determinant in the game as well. So I think he's, you know, the right person to bring in to start the game. Clearly, we've got someone like Dave Atwood on the bench who'll come on, I'm sure, in the second half and add his power and bulk, but also his line-up presence as well. So it's a good combination to have with Dave on the bench, and I'm sure he'll make an impact when he comes on in the second half.
Two uncapped players on the bench. Excuse me. The first of those, Joe Gray from Harlequins. Is the emphasis on the line-out an important part of his selection?
Yeah, it's the most important part really. Working with the hookers across the country. You know, I know Simon Hardy does a load of work and he feels he's right up there with the best, if not the best. And certainly in training, you can see why he's held in that regard. He's an excellent line-up thrower and he's a good set-piece scrummager and he's a good intelligent rugby player on the park. But yeah, it was a very tight call, to be honest, between him and Dave Ward. And Dave Ward's got other attributes that we know he can bring to the party, and he'll get his opportunity in the tour later on. But going into this game with the lineup being such a key component, that's why Joe's got the nod.
And a word on Chris Pennell, a remarkable story for him to get a slot on the bench.
Yeah, I mean he's been exceptional at Worcester for year after year, and probably thinking he's never going to get an opportunity to make an England Saxon, and then suddenly he's made the England team and he's on the bench against the All Blacks, and it's a great story. And I think the fact that he was voted, in the top 3 by the Players' Player in the awards at the end of the season gives a reflection on how highly he's regarded by the other players, on the quality of the season he's had. And what we've got to do now is make sure he gets that opportunity if it comes his way in the second half, if he gets his chance.